I pledge my life and honor to the Night's Watch, for this night and all the nights to come.
It's still showing the Hype Watch little thing. It's not even. Oh, here we go. We're showing up now.
Okay, talk. They can't hear me. Can't. Oh, now it's allowing me to talk. Valor Morgulis, everybody. Hype Watch is back again, and I gotta fix this damn chat room because this damn thing blowing up. All right, hey, yeah, what's going on, everybody? Hype Watch is back again. You know, obviously for Season 8 of Game of Thrones, doing our recap and review of the first episode, and it's kind of funny. We purposely decided we were going to do Mondays this time around instead of Sundays, so there wouldn't be so much overlap. And guess what? Still tons of overlap anyways. Fuck it, right? But yeah, you know, with me, you know, it's awesome foursome back again. And you know, as always, we have JB Big Game James Bichelle, and today is actually his birthday. So, you know, happy birthday to you, good sir. We have Sir LT Giles, you know, the ladies' man himself, and of course, hater of all things show. It is Jerry, Texas Rattlesnake Targaryen. Oh man!
Better watch your mouth down, Willie, or else you might see yourself getting a Stone Cold Stunner.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Oh man, yeah, Jerry, it's been a while. I gotta say, that is an awesome beard. Awesome beard. Oh, and shout out to those in the chat right now. Currently we have Sam R09 and also Boy Wonder. You know, the Yankees ain't doing so well right now, but ain't nobody talking about the Blue Jays. So
that's the way it should be.
Yeah, man. All right, so man, season 8, final season of Game of Thrones. We're gonna get a ton of spoilers going. We're going to talk about stuff that happens in the show, obviously, and stuff that happens in the books. Well, no, you know what? Screw that, because we don't want to make this a damn 2-hour thing like we normally did.
Well, nothing's happened in the book. Don Willie, we haven't gotten a damn thing.
Yeah.
George R. Martin.
Whatever, we'll get to that. Look, point is that we would we're basically, you know, gonna see what's up with predicting some things, and we'll probably do a predictions video later on in the week, right? But how are we feeling about the new intro? How are we feeling about the new intro for Game of Thrones? First time that they have changed it up this massively. For the most part, everything has been status quo from seasons 1 through 7, other than the minor changes that they did. This time it seems like they did almost a head to toe redesign of their intro. And I remember as the show was starting, certain someone was like, I'm already eye rolling this thing, and I believe that certain someone was Jerry. So, Jerry, we'll just get right into it. What was your problem with the intro?
I didn't even watch the damn intro. I skipped it right through. I was using HBO Go so I could just take another shot of Tito's right away.
Okay. uh, oh man, LT, how did you feel about the new intro?
Well, when I was watching the intro, I had one beer, then I had two beers. No, I'm just playing. I didn't like it. I hated it. I thought it was garbage. I didn't like it at all. Sorry, I did not
I
like
didn't
the
even
new
know they
intro.
changed the intro. I figured it was the same as always.
That they showed the wall broken, and I don't like it, man. I just, yeah, I was not a fan of it. I'm sorry. That's one thing I did not like.
Okay, wow, surprising. Birthday boy, how did you feel about the new intro?
Not as strongly as LT did, apparently. I didn't. I mean, it was. I found it inoffensive. I didn't hate it. It was whatever. They had a long time to work on it, like almost 2 years. But yeah, I mean, It didn't bother me any. I mean, it showed the accurate events of what it was supposed to be, as it is right now. And I mean, it didn't blow me away, but I didn't vehemently hate it. So it is what it is.
Yeah, well, look, I liked it. I thought it was a welcome change. You know, it was a little difficult where I was. It was kind of dark. I was inside of a bar with like 100 people watching that thing. I noticed they changed the symbols on the astrolabe. You know, because that's supposed to be telling the story of what's going on. So I'm gonna have to watch it again after we get off of here. You know, to see if there's any details I missed.
Are they admitting that Cersei is a Lannister? I'm sorry to interrupt, but they showed the lion over King's Landing, so they're admitting that she's a Lannister and not a Baratheon?
I mean, okay, well, here's how the royal thing works. No matter who marries into the royal family, you never actually take the royal's last name. So, whoever marries the king, or if you marry anyone who would have married a Targaryen or a Baratheon would never get the last name, which is why Ilya Martell is referred to as Martell instead of Targaryen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yes, legally she's Baratheon by marriage, but on paper she would always keep the name.
So Sansa is legally Sansa Lannister, but she's always going to be Sansa Stark.
That's not in the royalty, though.
No, but I'm just saying, is it other houses are different? Should she be?
Well, no,
Sansa
they call
Lannister?
Caitlyn Stark.
Right. Well.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, that's because it's not the crown house.
Exactly.
When it's the crown house, so for example, Sansa married Tyrion, so she's Sansa Lannister. But if she were to marry Joffrey, she would still be Sansa Stark.
And their marriage could be annulled because they didn't consummate it. So right.
But we're getting off track. Let's get to the actual episode, right? All right. So, we open up with the arrival of Daenerys and Jon Snow, and this is very reminiscent of the very first episode, Winter is Coming. They even used the same music as the first episode when you had the procession with Robert and the whole Baratheon and Lannister clan coming to Winterfell, which I thought was cool. They had the little kind of call back to a Bran-like figure, and at first I thought it was supposed to be Bran when he was younger, like a kind of like a flashback. But I'm like, oh no, this is not that. The Arya lining up with everyone else as they see the Unsullied go by. We get glimpses of the different people who are coming to Winterfell as part of the crew, and there's a little something that kind of not disturbed me, but I think a lot of people probably noticed a glance at a couple of the characters and it was like, oh wow, they're gonna do that in this one, huh? And then obviously we get the introduction of the dragons to the people of the North. So how are we feeling about this one? James, you go first. What were your thoughts about this?
Well, just quick question, because I didn't rewatch the episode, and something I meant to look when I meant to go look back to see if this was the case. But was the kid that was running, was that Ned Umber?
No, that was just some kid.
Sure?
That was just some kid that lived in a winter town.
Okay, I thought maybe it was they were kind of trying to mimic Ned Umber, and then, you know, the difference being Bran getting crippled at the end of the first episode of season 1, and then in this one it started with Ned Umber running and then Ned Umber dying at the end. But I guess if it wasn't Ned Umber, then never mind. But yeah, I mean, aside from this, it was fine as openings go. Obviously, as soon as we saw, you know, all the characters being in one place, I knew that this was going to be a reunion episode. And I don't know if it's in a, like, I don't know, that did feel a little D&D television righty, you know, like that's a television thing there where they would have all these episodes or all these characters in one place to have all these moments, which is whatever. My only gripe with that being there's only 6 episodes left, and essentially this episode was kind of, I mean, I don't know how you guys felt. It was kind of fillery. Like, I don't feel like it really advanced the plot that much. But the foundations of that was set up in this beginning scene with all the characters that we knew was going to have reunions. It was going to be a reunion episode.
Fair enough. Jerry, your thoughts on the opening scene?
Let me tell you here, Don Willie, when you've been jerked around by these 2 show writers as much as we have, you start to notice these little trends about how they like to do things. And this is a typical Dan and Dave special right here, trying to recreate the exact scene from the callback one because they think they're so clever, which is, you know, it is a legit, let me get you right, let me state that back. It is a legit way to do filmmaking. But there is a way, you can only do it when there's a reason for doing it. Like, let me give you an example. Like in the movie The Best of the Best, when you see Tommy, he sees like a flashback that mimics his old flash. Like, you see the scene that mimics his old flash. It's to let him know what he needs to do, to tell the character it either gives him a resolve to do something, makes them realize they're going the wrong path, or it usually has some purpose. Here, it had no purpose but to make a few jack-offs in the writing room feel like they're so clever, and that's what you get when you get these 2 just circle jerking all around the writing room by themselves.
I mean, I think it actually could have been, like I said, if the little kid was Ned Umber, and it would have ended, you know, it would have really mimicked what happened in season 1, episode 1, and it was kind of like a, you know, throwing shade at, you know, obviously Bran became the 3-eyed raven. Well, and if the symbol somehow like mimicked something to do with 3-eyed raven. And then that could have been like it actually would have kind of made sense with the Night King. I know LT, you will have things to say about that later, about the Night King shit at the end. But if that actually was Ned Umber, I think that could have been would have made a little bit more sense or something. I don't know. Maybe not, but yeah. Go ahead, LT.
I love the King's Arrival. That made me a fan of this series. I was very skeptical going into the series, watching the show, and that scene sold me. But anyways, I enjoyed it. It was cool. You know, I like how Bran looked at Jon and she wanted to say something, but she couldn't. You know, she was like, you know, I really like that. You know, she saw Jon for the first time in forever, and she's like, she wanted to say something, and it was a cool scene. It was nice. I liked it.
Just for clarity, you meant Arya. You said Bran.
Arya. I'm sorry, Arya. Yes.
I know what you meant.
Well, yeah.
Here's the problem with using it like that is that it's just meant to grab your old nostalgia and make you feel like all the love you had when things were good, to maybe distract you when things are bad. J.J. Abrams is a master of this with The Force Awakens, and that's why that was a piece of crap, and this is a piece of crap right now.
Okay. Rattlesnake, everyone. Rattlesnake. All right, so, you know, after this, this part of the same scene, we get the introduction. This is, you know, another callback, which I know Jerry hates nostalgia. I hate the old school, damn it, for some reason. But, you know, we get the callback to when Robert greets Ned in the courtyard of Winterfell, with Jon introducing Daenerys to his sister, Sansa, and yeah, and in this one, instead of it, oh no, you know what? It was an icy reception before. It's an icy reception now, except it's a little different because before it was, especially with the whole, being as cold and as frigid as you can possibly. And this one is her protege Sansa doing the same. And listen, at the end of the day, I think we all seen it coming. Demon ass Sansa is not happy with this situation, not one bit, and she will find some way to try to sabotage this whole thing. I'm calling it right now. Sansa is going to make a big power move some point during this season and really try to screw over. But,
you know why she won't, Willie? You know why she won't? Because Bran said it. There's no time for that.
Yeah, like Sansa's. But you know what, LT, since you spoke,
but we still have the brand. They promised that we were going to get a more personable brand, but we still got the brand 9000. Someone needs to give that.
God.
Someone needs to give that kid a Stone Cold Stunner to wake him up.
Yes.
I mean, listen, man. You know what? He actually showed a little more emotion. He showed 3% more emotion this time around when he said we don't have time. I was waiting for him to recreate that damn meme from online. Just like, ain't nobody got time for this, man.
Let's be honest, Don Willie. Let's be honest here. They should think that they don't have time. John, he just saw he may not have saw the wall come down, but he saw a bunch of shit go down up in north. He should be way more urgent, but no. We got these fucking writers who think nostalgia is more important than having a little bit of sense here and showing some urgency with our characters.
Well, my problem with this and my problem with this episode in general, I didn't say I don't hate the episode, but and the reason why I disagree with Don Willie thinking that sounds like a power move is because, yeah, as Bran said, they don't have time for that, and I don't know why they're manufacturing tension with only 6 episodes left. Like, we should be over that shit. That should have happened last season. And ultimately, I don't think that's the way. I don't think that Sansa's going to be making some crazy power move in these last 6 episodes.
Well, you know what? Real quick, LT, before you continue, I'm going to loop back around at when we get towards the end and tell you exactly why. For those of you who are watching right now, I'm just going to say I think that the thumbnail in the middle of the screen kind of sums it all up, But LT, go ahead, your thoughts.
No, two things I was going to mention that I forgot. So this is one thing I hate the show does. You notice it looked like there was 50,000 Unsullied when they went up and they saw him for distance, man. I remember when she first got him, I think it was 5,000 or maybe 10,000 at the most. And it looked like it had to be about 50,000 of them. They just want to make them look more powerful than they are, but that's kind of annoying. And then Wintertown is not that close. If you look when the dragon flies over, Wintertown's right there, like not even that far. Isn't it a little distance from Winterfell? Or am I wrong? Am I completely wrong?
They've never really shown Wintertown. Like, they've mentioned it, but they've never shown it in relation to how far it is from Winterfell. So we never really got the actual scale of, like, all right, here is Wintertown, here is Winterfell. First time they really shown Wintertown, so I honestly couldn't tell you.
A lot of people like to make fun of the humor, but I thought Tyrion's joke to Varys and the little cabana thing, or which is a carriage, when he said, "I have balls and you don't." I thought that was really funny.
There actually was a pretty decent amount of humor in here, and I didn't think that it was. I didn't think it was forced. Finally, some of the stuff it was just like, "Oh, come on."
I thought it was out of place.
You know what? No, because I don't think that everything can be, everything can't be all gravitas. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're not looking.
We're season 8. Shit's happening.
No, indeed. Look, we're not looking for some damn Marvel humor here. Not looking for some.
We got a little bit of Marvel humor in here, though.
I mean, what the one joke about I've always had blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on, man.
That was funny. I love that.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Come on. Damn it, you gotta have some kind of sense of humor. Right? Anyway,
Humor would have been if they would have Stone Cold stunned him right when he said he had blue eyes.
oh my god. Anyway,
Give him a big old can of whoop ass.
sticking around in Winterfell, there's the the tension, and like I said, you can look at the thumbnail in the middle there. Tension between Jon, Daenerys. Well, no, Jon and Daenerys versus basically the Northern Lords. They are pissed off that Jon has bent the knee to, and while Jon is trying to, tell him, hey, look, Daenerys lost one of the only 3 dragons in the world, trying to save all of us. They're sitting there chastising him and basically saying, like, dog, you's a bitch for giving up your. And Sansa was loving every minute of it. She had that damn scheming ass smirk on her face. She looks like a little right now. Her being Catelyn's daughter. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, you kind of had to expect that that was gonna go down. I'm telling you, man. This whole episode was all about Sansa trying to scheme her way to the top.
All right, Willie, elaborate to us. What's her goals of scheming? I mean, if she does scheme and they do go this route, what is she gonna do? Is she gonna betray Jon and Daenerys and like there's gonna be some kind of two factions?
We're gonna get to that when we get to the end of the episode. I'm gonna give my final reveal what Sansa is going to be. But all right. So any thoughts from guys as far as the Jon getting dressed down by the North?
I got a lot of thoughts on there, down Willie. I'll tell you one thing: is that it's very simple. All she has to do is say, "Listen here, little girl. Your grandpappy Lord Commander Mormont told me something many years ago. It says when dead men coming at you at night, who does it matter who sits on the Iron Throne? That was your heritage, your grandpappy, and then you should have given her a stone cold stunner and put Lyanna Mormont to nap time. That's what should have happened."
Okay, James.
You're muted, James.
So I was saying that I think that they're trying too hard with this Lyanna Mormont stuff, like being this strong, frigid young preteen, that they're just like going with this a little too hard. And like I said, it's more fabricated tension. I don't get it, but whatever. Like, I'm used to it at this point. But it's just a lot of fabricated tension. I just think the Sansa stuff is fabricated tension. I don't believe that there's this grand conspiracy, but I'll hear you out. But yeah, I think it's just a bunch of fabricated tension as filler, which we don't need with 6 episodes left.
All right, LT?
Yeah, that's what I think about it.
I think I 100% agree with JB. I think that they had to give Lyanna Mormont some lines because she's gonna die. They have to make us care about her some more. Everybody loved her in the whole King of the North thing. So there's probably gonna be 1 or 2 more scenes with her, but she's probably gonna end up dead. I wonder, is there gonna be like this Jorah know who she is? I mean, she probably wasn't even born before he got sent. He left, right? So he probably doesn't even know her. But I wonder if they're going to talk because they're family,
That would require some sense, LT. What do we tell you about sense in this show?
Oh, come on, man! No, don't do that. Look, I highly doubt that there's never going to be in the next 5 episodes that there's not going to be some interaction.
She can't even agree with Commander Mormont.
Look, there'll be some interaction between. Right? Look, man, like I said, I think that it might have been a bridge too far for the Northern Lords to go out of their way to chastise, especially when he's the only one that's actually battled the White Walkers out of all of them.
What do you think the reaction is going to be when they find out, everything?
Well, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Yeah, man. But listen, Sansa, again, during that entire time, instead of her backing, she played into the whole tension. Like, oh well, wasn't expecting all these people to show up and dragons. Like, yeah, not for nothing. Jon said that he was bringing Daenerys Targaryen and her whole army. What the hell were you?
She never wants any army there. She didn't want the Knights of the Vale there last season. She didn't want this army there. What does she want? Other than a Stone Cold Stunner right to the throat.
Oh, man. All right, well, look, we get the reunion between Jon and Arya finally. I thought that was, not a tearjerker, but it was touching. They finally got to see each other after all this time. They both have no idea what the other one has been through. Except somehow Arya does know that Jon died and was resurrected. Is that like a common thing now? Where just like
why did Jon lie to her? He lied to her. She said, "How do you take a knife to the heart?" And he said, "I didn't." Why did he lie?
He asked, "How did you survive?"
You take it and survive? He didn't. He said he didn't survive. He
died. Okay. I misunderstood that then.
Yeah, man. Wait up. Sorry, they're saying my comments keep cutting out.
You were lagging when you were talking to me anyway. I don't know if that's the other guys, but you were lagging pretty hard for me.
Huh. Okay. Un momento. Let me see if I can fix something real quick. Oh, what the hell was that?
You were echoing, but now you're not.
Huh. Weird. All right. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix something. I don't have. All right, we good now? In the chat, if you guys can hear me, press 1 or something. If you
chat answer.
Well, no, it's gonna take me a couple of seconds before it gets there. Anyways, so yeah, man. Damn it. What was I gonna say? All right, so why am I blanking on what the next scene is? Jerry, I know you got this memorized because you want to tear it apart. So, what was the next scene after Arya and Jon?
Next scene was Sansa and Tyrion talking a bunch of nonsense up on a rooftop or something like that.
Okay. I mean, listen, did you guys? I don't know. What did you guys have?
How can she be so ungrateful? So Tyrion was the only nice person to her in King's Landing. He saved her from getting beat, and he was there for her. And she's just like kind of mean to him. Like, what's wrong with her?
I mean, I think she was super mean to him. She just
not super mean, but she should be. She should be at least happy to see him.
She was talking some shit that she should have deserved a can of whoop ass from Tyrion.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. At the end of the day, you're talking about Cersei 2.0, man. I keep on telling you guys, and you guys keep on not wanting to hear me. Sansa is young Cersei. She. You know what? You should call her Cersei Finger at this point, because she is definitely a mixture of Littlefinger and Cersei Lannister. Period. Point blank.
Yeah. Well, and apparently, she's saying Tyrion was the most clever man she ever knew over the middle finger.
First I was going to tear it apart because in the previous scene when they were all in the hall, and Tyrion spoke and Sansa was in the room, I was like, so they just skipped over their initial conversation, like that didn't happen, like they didn't. So I was glad that they actually did have a conversation, or I thought that would have been pretty bad writing. That would have been, a plot hole. But in terms of their conversation, yeah, it does seem like, I don't know. Well, I took it less as Cersei is a cold-hearted bitch. You apparently believe, Don Willie, because I know you've hated Sansa for a while. You can admit it. But no, I took it more as the writers saying that they're making Tyrion an idiot for some reason. It seems like the route they're going.
Saint Tyrion is kind of an idiot. He's been a little bit of a jackass too. So,
Yeah, I mean, listen, I actually after last night's episode, I was talking to some people that I watched the episode with, and I've been saying, look, I'm not a fan of them making other characters idiots in order to artificially inflate Sansa as being smart.
I do
like what they did to Littlefinger.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that statement. I will agree with that.
Right. I have no problem with Sansa being a smart character. I just don't think you have to dumb other characters down in order to make her seem smarter. When Cersei did her outmaneuvering of people, no one had to get dumbed down in order for that to happen with Cersei. She just outmaneuvered them. It was like they were all playing the game at the same level, and she was just able to catch a lucky break on them.
I agree with that, and it's a shame because Tyrion is my favorite character, shows and books, and it sucks. But hopefully, there's still a little bit of time, so maybe he'll do the Undertaker pop up.
You should be happy, JB, because I guarantee you, if there's gambling odds that Tyrion, if you bet him not to die, you'd probably win. I doubt Tyrion dies. If Tyrion dies, I guarantee he won't die.
Well, that's the LT kiss of death. We know that's a fucking thing.
Oh man! All right. So, LT, maybe you remember what was the next scene after that one.
Actually, you jumped ahead. That was the next scene, and then, well, first it was John. Actually, are we going to talk about House Glover giving them the finger and saying they're going to take the White Walkers on their own? I don't know what the hell's going on here. I don't know what these Glovers are thinking. They're even further north than the Starks, and I mean, what do they think they are? Do they think they're Danny Glover in Predator 2 and going to take down all the White Walkers? Just a bunch of jack-offs.
It's more manufactured tension.
Well, they got all the wood and they got the best wood. So what's going on is the Glovers are building some kind of device with the woods, and there's going to be an ex machina with the wood to save the Starks.
Well, we saw the woods are what the White Walkers can do in the woods. So prologue and then
they're over by Last Hearth. They're over by Last Hearth. So in that area, so the Glovers are making some kind of special devices, and we're going to see an ex machina with them in episode 3.
Listen, man. Look, at the end of the day, let's call it what it is. The Glovers was selfish bastard, right? I'm not even sure which Lord Glover that was, but he was selfish before the Battle of the Bastards, and he's being selfish again because it's like, oh well, yeah, I bent my knee to this person and not the other one. I'm like, yo, man, at the end of the day, do you want to die? Or that's what it comes down to.
I would also say, I also want to say it's kind of bad writing because I think if you would have had a poll.
No, bad writing.
Well, yes, hear me out. I know it's a shock. That if you would have polled 100%, all the show watchers, about 99% of them wouldn't know who House Glover was. You know what would have made more sense and would have been more impactful is if it was House Mormont that would have been the ones to do this, this manufactured tension. Because then at least people know who fucking Mormonts are.
I mean,
yeah, and just like how they fucking do this bullshit with the Umbers last during the Battle of the Bastards. It's like Gilbert Glover and Rupert Glover would never do this, and it's not the characters. I mean, I'm sorry, it's not the nature of the Glovers to turn on the Starks, and it pisses me off, man.
Well, I mean, like I said, to me, it's not even about that. It's just about the fact that it's never the Glovers were never even really set up in the show. That's what I'm trying to break the stigma of like being a show purist. It's more about showing the fallacies in the own logic within the show. That's what I'm trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Speaking of
more
fallacies
within
within the own thing within the show, what about Arya calling Sansa the smartest person she ever met?
I mean, again, manufactured praise. And again, in order for that to happen, you had to make everybody else very stupid. And like I said, we're gonna get into all of that. Oh, we're gonna get into my prediction for what Sansa is gonna be up to. We're on.
Arya's met a lot of smart people, man. Tywin,
Littlefinger.
Littlefinger, Varys. She met Varys, right? She had to. I mean, she was in King's Landing, so she's met a lot of smart people.
Beric Dondarrion.
All right, Jerry, can continue us on with the episode, sir.
Well, the next one is I was a little bit disappointed, but I should have never known to get my hopes up. I thought we might be seeing a stand-in for the Dampier. When I saw Yara chained up by Euron, I had some Forsaken thing, and we all know that went a fat load of nowhere.
I mean, well, what's funny about that whole situation too is, did you guys notice that basically they pretty much scrapped the fact they had Dampier on the show earlier. Dampier was on the show, and now all of a sudden, Euron, Theon, and Yara are the last three Greyjoys alive.
Well, they never said it was Dampier, but he was in the show twice. He was in the show when Theon first went there, and then he was in the show when he baptized Euron. So yeah, and they never said it was Dampier, but I guess we all thought,
I mean, who else? Well, whatever, man. At this point, I'm trying. Honestly speaking, I thought Theon was going to die. And I wasn't the only person to think that. A lot of people thought he was going to die saving Yara, and that would be the greatest redemption have for him. But that's not the way they decided to go. Any thoughts, Saul?
So go ahead, JB.
I was going to say, I actually don't agree that would be the best way to earn his redemption. I actually think his best way to earn his redemption would be to dying and fighting in service for his true family, the Starks. That would be the better redemption, in my eyes, for him.
I agree with JB there. I think that might be what happens. Like, he probably gets there to Winterfell before episode 3. But anyways, I thought that it was too easy to save Yara. I think it was too easy and kind of annoying, but I like the fact that it happened, and I love the Ironborn music. And I'm not even an Ironborn fan. That music, I guess you could say it's Theon and Yara's music, but I love that music, and I pretty much so I liked it, but I thought it was too easy, and it was kind of annoying.
Gary?
I already mentioned what I thought. It was a big waste. And then he does it so easily, like it was no thing. Looked like me trying to take on, anyone. I could just came in there, did some Stone Cold Stunners, and he's like, I got Yara.
Well, there is something that you kind of skipped over, man. That was our introduction.
We skipped over the Golden Company being introduced to Cersei.
Yeah, the introduction of the Golden Company with homeless Harry Strickland. Absolutely no mention of the Blackfire Rebellions. No mention of who this guy actually is. And, all Cersei cared about was, hey, where are my elephants? Yeah, sorry, Your Grace, kind of hard to get elephants on the ship. So, yeah, no elephants.
What pisses me off?
No money in the budget.
I'm sorry. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, man.
You know what pisses me off is Euron is and I'm sorry to mention the books, but Euron is such a badass in the way he looks that fucking mountain would cringe at the sight of Euron. He's so tough. And he could stand in front of, I know I'm skipping a little bit, he could stand and intimidate. You know what? The real Euron would fucking punk the shit out of the mountain. I don't give a fuck. He would, man.
I already went on last season about how stupid it was for the Golden Company to be here and how much little it makes sense. Anything that would just be a re-listen to it, and I don't want to let any of you peons out there think that hear that one more time.
Does anybody think that it's possible that Cersei could be sending the Golden Company to Winterfell and there's a double attack, the Golden Company and the White Walkers at the same time? Does anybody think that's going to happen?
Obviously, the Golden Company was put in here because these two little jackasses went and looked on Westeros.org wiki and saw, oh, there's a Golden Company. Oh, they like elephants. Let's put them in the show. They didn't look into history or anything of the meaning behind the Golden Company.
I got 3 things to say. First, yeah, like I said, I haven't watched Game of Thrones since the end of season 7, and I immediately when Euron was doing his cracking his jokes with Yara and shit, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot they fucked up Euron. Like I forgot that was a thing, that they made him jokey Euron. So yeah, I did think that it was too easy to get back Yara, but I got over that because, like I was talking about before with the reunions and stuff, like we need to get going. So I'm okay without some elongated Yara rescue. I'm okay with that. It's whatever. When it comes to the Golden Company, yeah, obviously it's way different than what they are in the books. And I'm actually okay with that if they never, since they weren't mentioned ever before. I mean, Blackfire rebellions, Golden Company, Blackfires, none of that is mentioned. So it's okay if they make the Golden Company different. My problem with it is, if you wanted to bring the Golden Company in this late into the game, they should have been mentioned like back in season 4, rumblings of this Golden Company.
They were by Stannis. Stannis mentioned him once. Oh, no, Davos mentioned him.
Well, maybe there should have been more to keep it, fresh in people's minds over the years. If you were planning on bringing them this late, mention them a couple more times, mention what they're about. And I just feel like there wasn't enough proper setup for the Golden Company. Like I bet if you would have polled 100 casual watchers, they'd have been like, what the fuck is this? They don't even know what it is. Like 95% of them wouldn't know what's going on. But so yeah, that's my problem with the Golden Company. Not necessarily the book thing. It's more that it should have had more setup to begin with.
Well, real quick, we got a question about the Golden Company. And this was from Lexi Bertrand, and that is, did Cersei receive fewer troops than 1,000? Fewer troops than expected, like 1,000 less. Seems like an important plot point.
I don't think it was thousands less.
Yeah, I mean, I know they said they lost some people,
in transit.
Yeah, I don't think it was 1,000.
And then what did they do? Like Euron said, they did something, so they had to kill some of them.
Oh,
he was cracking some joke.
Well, I think some cheated at dice or something like that.
Well, Sam R9 asked, she just wants to know if the Golden Company is supposed to be Targ bastards in the show or not. I'm going to say no, because they've never set up Bloodfires whatsoever in the show. If they would now bring up this Bloodfire and this plot, about Bloodfires and the Golden Company back in Bloodfire or Blackfires, that I would rip that apart, because there would have been no setup whatsoever, and they're trying to bring in something new in season 8 when there's only 6 episodes left. Like, that wouldn't make any sense. So no, they're not supposed to be tied with Blackfires whatsoever.
Well, I think pretty much they they realize that they're merging Jon with Aegon the Sixth from the book, so it's possible that the Golden Company could realize that he's the true and then flip on Cersei.
I mean, well, I do think the Golden Company is going to flip on Cersei, but I think it's going to be totally different. Get into that later, but let's keep it moving. We got Cersei finally giving it up to Euron. Oh man, I know you guys got some interesting thoughts on this. Ladies man LT, I want to start with you. Your thoughts
I thought she was playing hard to get for a minute. I think she was, but I kind of agree with Euron. All the stuff he did for her, he did kind of deserve a little R&R. So I guess it was well deserved of him to get a little R&R for all the stuff he did and the sacrifice he made for her. But it's whatever.
James.
I got nothing to say. I just wanted him off my TV screen, so I was glad it was over when it was over.
All right, Jerry.
Did you like a finger in the bum?
Oh my god. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I thought it was it was a little ridiculous to me. He's up there like, oh, can I finally get some, can I get some sexy times, and the whole time the mountain, the other guards are sitting up there like, they hand the queen like looks over the shoulder and she's like, oh yeah, let him come, and he's up there like, so how do I compare to Robert, huh? How do I compare to Jamie? Am I any good? He was just like, look, you're right, kid. You do me a favor and leave now, because I got better shit to do with my life than be stuck with you.
I will say, based on the Yara and Euron conversation, like when Euron talked about how he was like gonna fuck Cersei and like how he was gonna torture Yara or whatever. The look that she gave him indicated to me that she is going to kill you. She's gonna be the one to kill Euron, and I think it's gonna be by cutting his dick off, or something along those lines.
Chopping his dick because she uses a axe.
Interesting.
You know what they say? If a man asks a woman, was he good, then he wasn't good.
Mm-mm. I mean, well, you know what? Speaking of axes, go back up north. Gendry forging dragon glass weapon. Barry is not liking this. Go ahead, man.
All right, so here's the deal, Don Willie. Some of this stuff, is smart. We know that dragon glass breaks like as soon as it's touched, or it has no. It's very fragile. So you put it on a tip, arrows. You can shoot those White Walkers miles away, or not miles away, hundreds of feet away. An axe is just going to be a heavy thing that's probably going to break before you even get to it. What you got to put it on is like point things, arrows, spears. What if you're gonna do it? If you're gonna do anything like an axe, you make the steel first, and then you cover it with maybe like the blade a little bit with some dragon glass. That's the most you do. It's just stupid. They're just trying to make it look cool, trying to make Gendry look cool. These two jack-offs are just trying to show how smart they are, thinking they're clever, but no.
Oh man. LT.
I actually dig the axe, and I like that the Hound got it. That was pretty badass. And then the Hound and Arya's interaction was really cool. I know they care. They don't really show it, but I know they genuinely care about each other in a sense. You could tell, man. And
she was trying to flirt.
Yeah, it was a pretty. Well, no, I mean even the Hound and Arya. I know they got some feelings toward each other, and Gendry and Arya too. But I agree with Jerry. I would have made more arrows, as many arrowheads as possible. Because why make an axe when you could make thousands and thousands more of arrows to hold back the White Walkers?
Or spears, like just a long piece of wood with a spear. I mean, that would fit perfectly. And this is some of the dialogue I was talking about. Oh, you left me for dead. Robbed you first. You cold bitch. That's why you survived.
I liked it. Maybe I'm getting soft in my old age, but I liked it. I mean, it is what it is. It's the way they show affection, and I think it it is very Hound-like for him to be proud of her for. I don't think it's within it's within the confines of the character that he would be proud of her for robbing a dying man, even if it was him. So I was fine with it.
I thought there was some genuine flirtation with Gendry and Arya, although we all know that's just some fan service that's going on there.
That I didn't really care about. I didn't really care about that scene, but I like the Hound and Arya interaction.
Well, speaking of Gendry and Arya, so apparently Arya has a design for a new kind of weapon. It seems like a spear that can come apart and put back together again. Not sure.
Obviously, Arya's been playing Bloodborne.
Not sure exactly how they're gonna wind up, but I think it could possibly be interesting. What do you guys think about Arya's new design for?
I think Jerry's 100% correct. I think Maisie Williams got into the game Bloodborne, told the writers, and they put that design for the weapon. I think Jerry's 100% right.
So how's that weapon going to work? It's like a spear whip or something, or what?
Yeah, like she could have the big part, right, and fight somebody at close distance, and then when all the enemies come at a distance, she could put it together and be like.
Interesting.
Because we know she's like Wolverine and invincible, and we saw when she fought the Waif with very little training that she's now expert fighter.
I'll have to see it in action before I can judge it.
You know what? I thought it was going to be something like Gogo from Kill Bill Volume 1. Remember the girl with the spike ball? Oh?
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, yeah, man.
Yeah, the girl from Battle Royale.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
I've only seen Kill Bill, both of them once a piece.
Oh wow. Let's see here. What else? So Ed Umber. Unfortunate for that young man. He went to go save his people. That guy.
Wait, you're getting to the end there.
Was that the end? That wasn't the end.
That was one of the
last scenes.
That was the second to last scene.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean.
But after that was the Sansa mounting off in Jon's face. Jon refusing to give her the Stone Cold Stunner. She's talking nonsense about the Game of Thrones again. Jon again is the only one saying it's not important. Repeating Lord Commander Mormont's talk, and then she asked maybe the only real question of the whole show is, why did you bend the knee? Was it because you actually think it's the right thing to do, or just because you want a little bit of piece of that, something?
Important question, and the look on Jon's face kind of said it all. Like,
he didn't have an answer because that's maybe the only conflict Jon has had this whole. The show has cut out most of the good conflict where, we had a great conversation about the chapter where Jon got stabbed, where it was legit good. It was a legit good move by the men of the Night's Watch to do that to him because Jon was doing potential things. But LT also made a good point about why it was a good idea for him to leave. So it was a lot of gray, whereas Jon now is just like always saying the right thing. He's always, he might as well be Yoda, the way, how right he is all the time. This is the first time he's actually been stumped and had like a gray question.
Okay.
It's always been black and white, and he's always been in the white.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and Don, really, this scene right here puts an end to your theory because Jon goes, "Are you behind me?" And she goes, "No, I'm always behind you." So, bloop, your theory is trash.
It puts nothing to rest yet, good sir. We haven't
I'm
even
just
got to the
messing
part
with
where that I'm talking about.
I'm just messing with you.
But you know what? Oh, so we finally get to see John ride a dragon.
Oh yeah, we skipped that part.
Yeah, so John riding a dragon. How are we feeling about this?
Well,
First we have the forced chemistry between them, where these two just don't have chemistry. I mean, they don't. It's not written bad. Like the line of well, it's cold for a southern lady here. Well, you better come warm me up. It's not a bad line. It's just that they don't. I don't feel it between them, and then we get the fucking dragon.
well,
What
first,
for one makes Daenerys think that that the dragon's gonna take Jon, and it's gonna be okay.
I mean, well, because they never fully established in the show that only Targaryens are supposed to be. That was never a thing that was.
But why hasn't she let anyone else try and ride a dragon?
Because she wasn't sleeping with it. She had one.
Well, yeah, she was Dario.
Well,
and they did set up. They did set up in the last season. They did set up like Jon being able to like pet Rhaegal. So there's at least a little bit of setup for it.
And besides, at that point, look, remember she never loved Dario. It was like, yeah, Dario was her dragon slayer, but he wasn't her dragon lover. Khan is actually love, not out there playing dragons in the bedroom. That's the reason why she's like, yeah, go ahead, you can ride the other dragon.
Well,
It's just when the dragon riding have to be intertwined with love. Like, wouldn't she give it to like her best commander? Be like, hey, Grey Worm, learn to ride this dragon so you can throw spears from him from the sky.
well, like I said, I think it's because we never seen the dragon warm up with Grey Worm when we saw it with Jon. But with this scene, I did like the juxtaposition into that scene, which was Tyrion, Varys, and Davos, three of my favorite characters, having the conversation about how how they're the old men now, and young love is blossoming, but they need to maybe listen to them a little bit.
Well,
it's always good.
Question to you, JB, on that. Did you feel that they were saying that they were hinting that they should get married? Those two.
That's exactly what they were hinting at. For
Okay.
they were saying for the good of the realm. But yeah, that's what they were hinting at. But in terms of that scene, like I was getting like Phantom Menace pod racing vibes, and I don't know if it's just me. I feel like I don't know. I've always felt that the CGI with the dragons have never been that great. Especially it's always looked really weird when Dany's riding a dragon. There's something to do with the I don't know, maybe their green screen work or something in the CGI. It's always felt a little bit off to me, and it's amplified when there's two of them on there doing the same thing. So I don't know. I feel like with their budget, their CGI should be a little better. And then in the end, with the whole dragon voyeurism, yeah, I don't know.
Hey, watch, don't touch my mom. Yeah, touch my mom.
How much would it cost to put on a fucking saddle for Daenerys? At least Daenerys, because she's been riding Drogon forever. It wouldn't even cost that much. They should do that. I don't understand why they don't. But no, I thought it looked amazing. It just gives me thoughts of one day if there's ever going to be a Princess and the Queen movie, how amazing it would look when they're just riding together. That's all it made me think of. I loved it. I thought it looked amazing. Was that Rhaegal or Drogon that was looking at Jon while they were kissing?
It was hard to tell between them unless you saw their little.
All I know is it creeped me out.
Because Drago was red and Rhaegal was green.
Well, maybe it's my eyes when it comes to CGI, because like I thought, like I remember I was talking about the CGI in Black Panther looking like shit, and people were saying that wasn't the case. So I don't know. Maybe it's my eyes with CGI. It just always looks really fucking weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of
no, but JB, you're not alone, because somebody commented on my review and said that the CGI was horrendous, and so you're not alone.
I mean, listen,
but I liked it. I liked it.
It was a decent scene, but by no stretch of the imagination was it like amazing. You know what? I didn't have the same feeling riding the dragon for the, and it wasn't even the fact that okay, yeah, somebody else is riding dragon. It's not the first time that we saw it. Um, it's just, you know what? It would have made more sense the first time when they're on Dragonstone, goes up and touches the dragon. Oh, he's about to do it, and and he's like, oh, yeah, they're lovely beast or whatever, and just like, oh, okay, yeah, you just killed the moment.
I just hate when stuff happens when it doesn't happen the way I want it to happen. See, I wanted John's first time to mount a dragon to be like Daenerys gets injured, so she can't ride no more or something, and he has to do it to save the realm or something. That's what I wanted, but
with this urgency for him to be reckless.
Yeah, like
instead of just like, hey, why don't you give possible dying a try?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're pretty. Right?
No, we're not. I'm just joking.
Weren't you playing I Could Show You the World?
I was literally at the bar and I was like cue the Aladdin music. That one got a nice chuckle out of everybody. But oh, you know what? There is something I almost forgot. That is Sir Bronn of the Blackwater.
Oh.
I had to give him something. Can't be missing Bronn jokes.
Oh, you know what they do to me?
Oh, hey, JB's muted. Are you muted, JB?
Yeah, my bad. I was gonna say, it's with the Bronn scene. It's the theme of the whole episode: manufactured tension. Because I already called it. Bronn, he's gonna be coming up there. He's going to have Jaime in its sights. They're going to show like a POV shot of him, have Jaime in his sights. Jaime's going to look at Bronn all surprised. Bronn's going to shoot the crossbow bolt, and it's going to hit a white right behind Jaime. And Bronn and Jaime are going to have a laugh about it. And it's all manufactured tension. That's all it is.
But another thing, and I can totally see that happen in JB. That'll be funny. I'll be laughing my ass off if it does. But I thought they were going to trick me because when what the hell is his name? The Maester, he's the hand of the queen now. What's his name?
Qyburn.
When Qyburn came to Bronn, I thought, no, they're not. They're not going to do this because the two actors, Lena Headey and Jerome Flynn, do not get along. So I thought he was going to come to the throne room and they're going to have a scene together. But obviously they didn't. But I thought they were going to do that,
I mean, I find it interesting. I mean, first off, Bronn is trying to get his hero point. And he's up there like, hey, I got Blackwater, blah 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 blah. All they want to do is talk about the other dude that they thought were cute to the Bronn.
Oh, Jerry, I have to know. Did you think like me when that girl told you guys just told me his name and I can't cross his what's his name again? Qyburn. Okay, when that girl told Qyburn, I like older guys. Did you think, man, Qyburn, that's bad because if she were to go to him, Qyburn could kill her and like use her body for something, like he's probably doing in the books, I
mean, that would be book Qyburn. This is show Qyburn, so I don't really think of it. He's just a jackass in the show.
No, but I mean, listen, man. That whole scene was kind of crazy. Yeah, that whole scene was kind of crazy. Whatever.
Do you guys agree with my prediction though?
I don't know, maybe, but wouldn't the arrow have to be on fire, or if it's a White Walker, it'd have to be a Dragonglass arrow?
Maybe it's not necessarily have to be a White Walker. I'm just saying that it's going to be a misdirect. Like it's going to be one of those tricks where it's going to be a misdirect where it looks like he's going to be shooting. It's done in cinema forever.
I mean, that sounds like those two assholes.
Yeah, that's what my prediction is. I think that's what's going to happen.
And then right after, but in the trailer, we see Jaime. He's like, Bronn! So Well, is that going to happen after this thing, JB, or before this thing?
What do you? Oh, well, I didn't see the trailer, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, in the trailer, like, there's a scene of Jamie and there's fire around and he goes, Bronn!
I'll say that might even be the moment. That's the moment right there. Whenever that is.
All right.
After this manufactured tension, we're going to have next episode with Jamie and Bran. Anyway, let's continue on.
Hold on. Is it really manufactured tension if, all right, question. Why would you call it manufactured tension?
Well, okay, maybe Bran and Jamie isn't manufactured tension, but I just feel like it's pretty predictable that, I would say predictable tension, because I think what's going to happen, I think what's going to happen next episode is that Bran is going to see that Jamie has a role to play, so he's not going to even say anything about what happened to him before. So I think Jamie's going to get out of whatever they're trying to showcase next week. But let's continue on with the episode.
Listen, we don't have that much left.
Well, we got the scene between Sam and Daenerys where take it away.
Well, yeah, we got Sam and Daenerys finally meeting. Daenerys is thanking Sam for saving Jorah. Sam was like, "Hey, well, hopefully I can be granted a royal pardon for stealing the books from the Citadel and also for stealing my family sword." And then that's when they both find out. Well, not that they both find out, but Daenerys realizes that it's his father and brother that she killed, and Sam finds out that his father and brother are dead because apparently all this time he never even knew that his father and brother had even been killed, which I'm kind of surprised about. Yeah, so look, I will say that the actor who plays Samuel Tarly did an excellent job in that moment of conveying his grief. Because you see, like, for one, he's way more grief stricken over his brother than his father. It's like when he found out about his father being executed, it was like, holy shit! Oh man, okay, that's bad. He was a dick, but he was my father. But then when he found out about his brother, it was like, yo, what? Come on, man, really? Like him too? You couldn't just kill one; you had to kill both of them. And I think that the actor who plays John, and not John, Sam, and unfortunately I can't remember his name right now, but I think he did a great job with that. You guys,
John Bradley.
John Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So, my hats off to John Bradley. Excellent actor. LT, your thoughts on this one?
No, I basically agree with what you said. He nailed it. A lot of people have praised his performance for this episode, so maybe he's in the lead of early Emmy winners.
Jerry?
I'll tell it to you straight here, Don Willie. This was all Sam's fault in the first place. If he would have learned to swing a sword maybe a little bit earlier instead of playing a little tea party with his sisters, then his dad wouldn't have had to give him a stone cold stunner and send him to the wall, and then he could have been there to bend the knee. That way his brother doesn't die. Well, maybe his dad dies. I don't know. But he at least could have saved his brother if he would have just manned up from the beginning. Instead, he's got that stupid-looking grin on his face. Who really gives a rat's ass how good of the acting it was?
No, Jerry, you're wrong. It's Randall Tarley's fault because if his dumbass would have followed Stennis, this would have never happened.
They're all idiots. They all get the Stone Cold Stunner, LT, and you might too if you don't watch it.
I thought John Bradley did a good job. He did. I did find it interesting that he actually did show some emotion towards Randall Tarley's death. I mean, it was more for Dick. Name is his name Dickon, right? Dickon Tarley, right?
Dickon, yeah.
Yeah, he did show more emotion for Dickon. It is funny how it is funny that Danny can be pretty blunt sometimes. She doesn't try to she doesn't really sugarcoat things. But I was thinking, because like I said, I haven't watched since 2017 was the last time I watched any Game of Thrones. So I was like, did Sam get back to the wall, or did he get back to Winterfell last season? Did he just show up here and when we see later when he goes to see Jon in the crypts, he hadn't been, because the way that they reacted to each other was like the first time they saw each other since he's been there. Well, so he's just been chilling down in that room for a while and didn't even go see Jon or anything?
He had to leave the Citadel, remember? He was like,
yeah, I remember that.
Back. Yeah, so I think this whole time, like, from where we were waiting, he was on his way to the wall.
Well, no, it's the fact that they opened with him in this room. He's been sitting in this room doing whatever he's been doing. It looked like he's been doing some sort of research or academic stuff. And that seems to be the first time we see him in Winterfell. And this was the first interaction between him and Jon. So what, he's just been chilling in that room without going to see his buddy Jon this whole time? It just seemed kind of weird to me.
I mean, it seems like that's what they decided to do with it. Because at this point, it seems like it's only maybe been a day since they've been back. Like, and Winterfell, I'm not going to say it's not the hugest place, but it's still a castle,
I still think they would have seen each other, especially since Jon gave him an order. He had a job to do, so he had like a mandate. I figured he'd go in and report to him at least. I think it at least would have made some sense if they would have shown him just walking into Winterfell and like putting his stuff up or something.
Well, I think Sam might have beat him there, and I don't think he might have got there.
Sam was there. No, Sam was there already. Remember when he said that stupid line before where Robert's rebellion was built on a lie when him and Bran were working it out?
Oh, that's right, because him and Bran talked last season. Yeah, Bran.
Yeah, see, that's the reason why I was asking if he had been there before. I didn't know. Like I said, I haven't watched in 2 years, so I forgot that he was there.
He beat Jon there, so
it makes more sense.
Yeah,
then.
I forgot too, though. Jerry just reminded us.
But yeah, carry on.
All right. So yeah, after this, Bran, Jon. Sorry. After this, Sam runs into Bran. Bran is like, "Hey, you got to tell Jon right now. It is time for him to know." And the funny thing is, I'm like, does Bran just not get cold anymore?
No, he told him before that, and it was the talk with Daenerys that tipped it over the scale to be like, I got to talk to her now.
Well, yeah, they said they were gonna tell him, but like when he runs into him outside after getting the news from Daenerys, Bran told him, "All right, time for you to go tell him right now." But I'm just wondering, does Bran never get cold? Because it seemed like he was in that same location for about 75% of the episode.
Well, yeah. Well, I want to see someone do like a supercut of, because I think it was like 3 or 4 times that Bran was like in the same position, looking at someone intensely, and I just want to see like someone do a supercut of like the West Wing noise, the dun dun of just Bran, of them just showing Bran's face with that noise coming on every time someone looks at him.
Well, he did have a little bit of fur on him, so I guess that's keeping him warm.
Bran 9000 cannot feel emotions or the cold.
It pisses me off so bad because Bran acts like he's not Bran anymore. He's just a three-eyed raven. He tells Sam, "I'm not his brother."
He's not his brother. He's his cousin.
Right.
I'll tell you what. If in the books Bran was Bran 9000, I'd just skip his chapters. I wouldn't even read it.
Hopefully it won't be nearly as cringeworthy as this has all been. Oh man. But yeah, so Sam goes and talks to Jon and he's like, "Hey, look, your girlfriend killed my dad and my brother, just because they wouldn't bend the knee. Yeah, pretty cruel of her. How do you feel about this, Aegon?" Like, first off, my name is not Aegon, and second, yeah, look, I've had to kill people too, so like, yeah, but not unjustly, okay? Aegon. Why do you keep on calling me Aegon, man? Cause you're the fucking king. What? No, that's treason, bro. Bro, what are you talking about, man? I gave up my crown. Bro, that's treason. I mean, that's pretty much how it happened, you know. You guys' thoughts uh, on John finally finding out his true parentage?
Well, this could have been a good scene, except, I mean, what is Sam whining about when he's seen John, what John does to people who refuse to follow his orders? Get my sword. We've seen it before. Trying to act like he's all different was pretty stupid, but otherwise it was a pretty good scene. Oh, actually, another stupid thing is he's Aegon.
Yeah, well, you know, look, we're not going to talk about that part. LT.
We have to talk about that. Not in any of the history of the Targaryens did any king ever name his two kids, or prince name his two kids the same name. There was no two Jaehaerys at the same time. No two Aegons.
No.
There's no two Balerians. There was
two Aegons.
I'm sorry, Willie, but it's
Dance
just
of Dragons, but each had an Aegon on each
yeah,
side.
yeah, but they weren't, and they were technically okay. Let's get off that. Okay.
Well,
Anyways, go ahead, JB.
But it wasn't the same parent.
Was it established on the show that Rhaegar's other son was named Aegon?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then that is stupid. Yeah. But go ahead.
I'm glad this is finally out. If people want to deny Arpa Equals J, just like Willie said when we were talking before the video, they're a loser and they need to let it go. I want to see a scene where John's talking to Ned Stark. He's like, "How come you never told me?" I want to see that. I just got to see that.
I will say, in defense of Rhaegar naming two of his kids Aegon, that there is a baseball player named Victor Mesa, and his brother is Victor Mesa. So it's happened.
Oh,
why is his name not Aegon?
No, I was just making a joke. But
not like 5 kids named George.
Yeah, see, it can be done. That being said, the scene was fine. I'm intrigued to see where it's going to lead to. Now, this could be tension that would actually make sense. But with Dany and Jon, I don't know. I mean, I'm interested to see where it's going to go. So I was fine with it.
Now, gentlemen, this brings me to what I was talking about before. And this is where Sansa comes in, scheming ass Sansa, Cersei 2.0, because, hey, listen, the moment that Sansa finds out about this, she's gonna be like, well, you know, since you're already a Targaryen, I don't think we need double Targaryens ruling the Seven Kingdoms. You know, I know I wasn't that nice to you before, but Johnny boy, we're not brother and sister now. You know, you get to sit the Iron Throne. I've always wanted to be queen, so yeah. How's about it? And I know you like redheads, so listen. You know, you guys don't think it's gonna happen, but I'm telling you, Sansa...
And what's going to happen? Dany's going to kill Sansa? Is that what you think is going to happen?
No. I'm thinking that Sansa is going to try to scheme her way to marry Jon.
But then what's going to happen if it fails?
I mean, here's the thing. I think Dany will be... You know what? No. We're not going to... No, forget about predictions. We're not going to do the predictions right now. We'll talk about that another time. But, look, what I will say is Jon will outright reject that offer. He will reject that offer, but that won't keep Sansa from scheming to be queen of all Westeros.
Well, we'll see.
She
I don't
will-
think that. I don't think that's her end game. I mean, I don't think that's her ultimate desire. But I guess we'll see.
I'm telling you, she is Cersei 2.0, and I think the only difference is she is gonna try to put a more not happy she's gonna be the person who's like, okay, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of people killed, but people are somehow still gonna think I'm the good guy in the situation. Like that.
I guess I think the bottom line is the difference is I don't think she's malicious, and you do. So, but I mean, we have different opinions.
Listen, she had a man executed without a fair trial, so.
So did Danny. Remember when Danny had that one guy burnt up by her dragons?
Have you ever heard me defend Daenerys on any of the burning that she's done? So yeah, man.
I'm just thinking how D&D. I'm just thinking how D&D works, because obviously their logic went out the window with Littlefinger because he's been always portrayed as an evil character. So their thought process wasn't about fair trials and.
He
and
didn't deny the accusations against him. She said, "Do you deny it?" He didn't deny it. And you know what? The bastard died and deserves to go to hell.
Anyway, let's continue on with the show.
All right, so yeah, I mean, back to what I was talking about before, and that is the young Ned Umber and people left by the White Walkers. Man, that was a pretty horrific scene. I honestly did not think they were going to show the kid being torched. I figured that he would have been too young to show him being torched, but I guess since he was already technically dead, it's not killing a kid at that point. Jerry, you didn't like the joke about Tormund already having blue eyes. I thought that joke was funny. Get a damn sense of humor, you bastard. All right.
What I would say about that is I don't think it's
doesn't
out
really
of
fit the tone of what the series has been either. So
Well, it might not fit the tone, but I don't think it's out of Tormund's character. I could even see him cracking that joke in the book.
I mean,
or cracking a joke in the book.
But the
like
thing about
Tormund
it was,
has always been
right. But the thing about it was, he wasn't cracking a joke. It was just funny because, here you have Ed, who, you got to think about it. He came across Ned Umber's body strung up with the White Walker symbol. He's used to, at this point only seeing whites or White Walkers with blue eyes. He's not paying attention to what color Tormund's eyes are. So the moment he sees him, he's got, the damn flame from Barrett's sword is lit up. He sees him with the blue eyes, and he's automatically thinking, "Holy shit, the White Walkers are back!" And he's like, "Be careful, they got blue eyes." So that to me was the thing that was funny about it, because while they're sitting up there, like, oh my god, they're thinking they're getting attacked by the White Walkers, not even realizing this guy always had blue eyes. So it was, to me, it was funny because of the situation, not because Tormund was trying to make a joke. But
I'm surprised none of you guys have talked about the illogical fallacy of Ed coming all the way from Castle Black to Last Hearth, and that was a long journey.
We're long over the travel fallacies. I mean, that the Raven making it all the way down to Dragonstone, them not freezing to death, and the dragons coming to save them all before that happened. You throw logical thinking out the window at that point.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
In my opinion, this is where the show. Oh, go ahead, William. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, Littlefinger travel services are still in effect. Just because you get rid of Littlefinger doesn't mean that all of those portals get dismantled. Okay, they still rocking the teleporters. So
yeah, remember Gendry ran all the way from way past the wall to the wall and like before sunset. So
like, he was going way faster than Carl Lewis or anyone like that.
I mean,
But,
no,
the
he
show-
went through one of the wormholes, man. I'm telling you, they listen. Littlefinger's travel services. Look, at the end of the show, what we're gonna find out is there is a bunch of technology around Westeros, and they've been just trying to. It's gonna be one of those M Night Shyamalan twists that they've been keeping from us.
I will say that this scene is where LT's score went to a 10 because Barrack showed up in it.
Yeah, it went from a 10 when I saw Barrack, then it went back down to. You'll hear what my rating is at the end, but it went from a 10 and then it went back down. Now let me tell you something. This is where HBO pussies out. They have all this money and they can't make a real Last Hearth set and have look what they could have done. They could have added 30 more minutes on this episode. They could have had a real Last Hearth. That was the same set. I want to say that's the same set that when Jon and Sansa went to see Lady Mormont. I think that's the same set. They could have made a big castle. They could have had like a bunch of people. There could have been a battle between the Whites and the White Walkers. I'm sorry. There could have been a battle between the people of Last Heart and the White Walkers. Some kind of battle. We could have seen the Night King, and then it cuts out, and then we see this. But in my opinion, they pussied out. They want to be cheap. And we get this little small set of Last Hearth, and then we see what happened. But I have a question for everybody watching: Is the Night King playing mind games with Jon, sending him a message? It's just stupid and retarded. Like
Well,
I like seeing that. Go ahead.
Well, I did see people on Twitter pointing out. Well, the theory that I saw on Twitter was that the symbol of that they used with Ned Umber was reminiscent of the Targaryen symbol.
Okay.
And it's funny because Sam R09 just brought that up in the chat as well. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people noticed that.
But that's only the show's things. Like the Targaryen symbol, long before the show, was just thought it was like just a 3-headed dragon. Like it wasn't a swirl or anything.
I mean, but I think it's the whole symmetry of the thing, and then plus also remember, in the books we don't have any particular White Walker symbols or patterns or anything like that. So
this is all show stuff, is what you're saying. Nothing but show. This is all Dan and Dave doing their jackass stuff.
God damn it, Jerry!
But you gotta remember that Dave gave them I'm sorry, George gave them an outline, so anything we see could be in the books. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be, but it could be.
But this is where we identify where things are not in the books. Like,
but yeah, do you guys think that was a Targ symbol?
It looked like it, I mean, but it obviously wasn't. It was the same swirl. I think because of the way that the sigil is drawn for the Targaryens for the show, it came out that way. You got to remember, you're talking when it comes to the sigils. They're not being designed in the same way that they would have in Middle Ages in our history. They're being designed by modern day graphic designers who are trying to make everything sleek and polished. So if you look at the way that the sigils are drawn, like on Westeros.org or Ice and Fire wikis and all that stuff, the Targaryen 3-headed dragon is totally different. It's just like Jerry said, it's just a 3-headed dragon. It's not in any particular pose or anything like that. It's just a red dragon on a black background.
Yeah, I didn't really like it because I like my others to be like more like the Borg, where it's just a force of nature that's looking to assimilate to survive, and well, I mean, I guess we have seen, even in the books, at least them show like in the fight, the beginning fight of the whole series with Waymar Royce, so they do, kind of laugh at him and all this stuff. So maybe, I don't know. It's whatever. Next.
Yeah, I mean, all right, so yeah, last. I mean, anybody got anything to say about this before we go to the very last?
Well, I thought this was a fantastic scene because it was done like horror, like it was fantastically done horror, but that sounds like it was an accidental thing because I'm interpreting it different than what, at least from the rumor. I don't know. The rumors and innuendo going around are that this was. I think LT told me that it was said that Tony said that the rumor and innuendo was that in the script it says that he's sending a message, the Night King sending a message to Jon, which would be really stupid. But if that's not true, and this is just they're just trying to do a horror thing, then this is great in my opinion. This is well done horror.
I genuinely was scared for Tormund. I thought, this is the last season. When Tormund wasn't paying attention, I thought this kid was somehow going to stab Tormund and he was going to be dead. And I thought, if they would have did it, that would have probably been genius because it would have made us care about. We already care about Tormund, but we would have been sad by his death. If the kid would have got him. But I really thought that he was a goner right there.
I think this is just done horror. It was either horror done right or horror done accidentally right. I don't know which one.
See, I wasn't thinking Tormund was going to go out like that. Tormund is going to go out with like 8 whites on him. Because remember the scene from the Battle for the Wall? He was such a beast in that scene where he was like fighting off like 20 Night's Watch at the same time and had like 3 arrows in him. So, I feel like he's going to go out like saving Jon with like 8, 10 whites on his ass or something.
He could go out like a bitch. Remember what's Barristan Selmy?
Well, look.
Where are all the free folk at, man? Like, we see Tormund, but where are they all at? Are they hiding in Winterfell somewhere?
Or around there. There might be, they probably.
Oh, there was tents outside out front of Winterfell. Was that for the Unsullied, though? There's a lot of tents out front.
I'm not sure, but I mean, look. I'm thinking if Tormund does die, it's gonna be in episode 3 at the Battle for Winterfell.
I didn't know that's what episode 3 was.
No, I'll tell you when Tormund dies. So everybody's gonna flee, like after that, like you said, you guys, the Battle of Winterfell, and it's just gonna be Tormund and Jon, and fucking the Night King's gonna come out, and everybody's gonna watch him and Jon fucking fight, and fucking the Night King is gonna break Longclaw, right? And Tormund's gonna go no, and he's gonna run and try to save Jon, and he's gonna kill him, and then that's how Tormund's gonna die.
Interesting. All right, we want to get to the last scene now.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. So, very last scene, we have a shadowy figure, hooded in black.
The hooded man
shows up.
Finally got the answer.
So, look, I'll be honest with you. When this first came up, you're seeing the procession of people come through the gates of Winterfell. I was thinking for a half a second, I was like, is that Melisandre? And then I was like, nah, it's too early for Melisandre to be showing up. And, just before he gets off the horse and takes off his hood, I was like, oh, it's going to be Jaime. And wasn't even thinking about Bran when he said, I'm waiting for an old friend. Jaime turns around and Bran is sitting right there, and Jaime just has the look on his face like, holy shit, I'm fucked right now. So yeah, any thoughts on the final scene? You know what? In fact, James, I know you had some thoughts on this, so we'll start with you.
I mean, it was fine. I like the way how it ended. I mean, it ends on a good cliffhanger, even though I think it's pretty predictable it's gonna happen because it's not like Littlefinger where, obviously Littlefinger had no redemption arc whatsoever, so it was pretty simple for D&D to be, just to kill him off. But with how much, investment there is in Jaime, it'd be pretty anticlimactic if this, whatever trial that's going to happen next week, ends up in Jaime's death. It would just be super anticlimactic and would not narratively make very much sense. So like I said, I think that this is, it's tension. It's warranted. Obviously, Jaime and Bran have a history. But I just think in the end that it's predictably going to end not with Jaime dying. But I thought it was a good way to end the episode. I thought it was a great way to end the episode. One of the, a great cliffhanger.
LT?
I agree with JB 100%, but what I think is going to happen is at his trial, they're going to be condemning him. Everybody's there is going to be condemning him, and then Brandon will step up and say, like, you know how he said in the beginning, he said, there's no time for this. He's going to say, we need him. So, get over it or something, whatever he says to convince them. And because, JB, you haven't seen the trailer. We all have. It shows Jamie fighting around fire. So obviously he's not going to die or get condemned to death. But I thought that scene between Jamie, the stare down between Jamie and Brandon was piercing. It went through my soul. I thought it was very well done.
I did think that a trial by combat with Brienne as Jamie's champion would have been interesting. But
definitely. But I don't think there's enough time.
There's not
Brand
time
says,
because it's
there's no time.
There's only 6 episodes this season.
I mean, well, for one, we didn't even see Brienne this entire episode. We got a glimpse of Podrick and didn't even see Brienne, which I thought was kind of weird.
Probably out committing a crime like she usually does.
Maybe she's in the same room as all the free folk because we didn't see no free folk.
Possibly, but Rattlesnake, your thoughts on the final scene?
If Jamie was really a man, he would just throw Bran out another window and just be done with it. Stone Cold Stunner, throw him out, just like when he threw the Rock out in the Royal Rumble. Other than that, it was a good scene. A really good scene, and it played on me.
Jerry, what the hell is wrong with you? You have serious issues, man. You have some real serious issues.
Other than that, though, it was a good scene. It played on tension that actually should be there, logically makes sense there. It's been built up in the past, and it ended on a good cliffhanger. That's a good one there.
Look, I like the scene. I thought it was pretty cool. Like I said, it took me by surprise only because when Bran said he was waiting for an old friend, and Sam was there, I'm like,
he was being very, very Hannibal Lecter. It was like, I'm having dinner. I'm having an old friend for dinner.
Yeah, pretty much. And I wasn't even thinking about Jamie whatsoever. So yeah, it's kind of crazy that this is what happens. Yeah, man. So final scores. We're gonna go around the board, and starting with LT. Final score. What is your score for this episode, good sir?
If it wasn't for the last hard scene, I like I said, I saw Barrick, and any episode with Barrick would normally be a 10, but the last hard scene, like I said, it was pretty cool, but that took a few points off, so I'm gonna go with a 6.5.
Wow. Okay. Surprising. James. Holy shit! I gotta think about that one. Yeah, James.
Yeah. So this episode, my problem with this episode is the whole wrapping my head around the pacing of it. Like, to me, this felt like an episode 1 of a season with 10 episodes, as opposed to being an episode 1 of a season with only 6 episodes. Because it had, to me, a lot of reunions, some fillery things going on. It didn't seem to advance the overarching plot. It seems like they were setting up little micro plots that I feel like we don't have time for. But aside from that, there's fan service. It was repetitious with all the reunions, the bad CGI. I give it a 7, I guess. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't, it didn't blow me.
Well, define your scale. Is it 7 average or is it 5 average?
A 5 is average. So I guess a little above average. Like, I was entertained. Time went by quickly. It didn't make me pull my hair out. But once again, I've kind of been disconnected, so perhaps I'm losing some of my edge. I don't know. So I give it a 7.
All right. So 6.5 from LT, a 7 from JB, and Rattlesnake. What you got for us?
Well, this thing had one stupid thing after another, but the one thing I can say about the stupid, none of them was egregiously really stupid. Like that would make you just go, gotta take a drink and get drunk my ass off and stuff like that. No. None of them were like ridiculous. At least we've been trained to think so much stupid has happened before. We've been brought down to where we can handle this level of stupid. It did have a few good scenes. The reunions I couldn't care less about because, these aren't the same characters that I knew from the beginning. All these characters half of them have degressed. So it's just Dan and Dave having reunions with what they think the reunion would be like. So I didn't really care for that. It's a 4 out of 10. There you go.
Goddamn.
That's the way. And that's the bottom line.
See, 4, I feel like if it's a 4, then did the episode go by, did it feel like it was taking forever for you? Did it feel like it was 3 hours long?
There was a lot of nothing going on for the most part.
I mean, I'm expecting a 4, from a season 5, a season 6, or maybe a season 7 episode. But goddamn, bro, 4? Oh man, okay.
Well, 5's average. I put 5 as average, so it's just a little below average. It's not like.
Holy shit. Okay. Look, you know what? I like the episode. I mean, look, you guys who have been watching for the past few years, you know me. If I feel like something has crossed the line into absolute stupidity, I will bash the shit out of it. But I don't think that this episode deserved bashing. Look, were there a few things that weren't spectacular? Yeah, but still, I've seen a lot worse in shows that think they are on the same level as Game of Thrones. And look, man, you know what? I think that if they can, step it up from here, and bring it back to the level where it should be, then I would really love for it to progress into something that we can say we were proud to be a part of. But as far as this episode is concerned, I liked it a lot, and I'm gonna go 7.5 for this one. I think it was one of the better openings out of the past few years, because to be honest with you, a lot of the opening episodes for the past 3 seasons were trash. Especially, I'd say, season 6. Season 6 for me was probably the worst opening episode of the series. I don't think this is anywhere near that.
I will say, thinking, 5 is average. I will have to recalibrate my score to a 6 because it wasn't 2 points above average; it was 1 point above average. And if these micro kind of things that they are building upon doesn't really pay off upon further review, it could go down further. It depends on how these things they set up. But yeah, I didn't think it was the shits.
Look, I gotta set this up straight. I'm not here to be like Lieutenant Kendrick in A Few Good Men, trying to say Santiago is about average. I call below average when I see below average. That's the bottom line.
Fair enough. All right. Look, we will try to be back later this week with.
But hold on, Don Willie. Oh, whoa! Don't even think about ending it right now, Don Willie.
Oh, God.
Speaking of 4 out of 10s, we got to talk about behind the Insider episode here, and the thing that was mentioned by David Benioff at the end. Now, according to David Benioff, in Westeros, only a Targaryen can ride a dragon. According to him. Long life. Thoughts?
I mean, again, we're talking show canon, man. Look, there's a lot of stuff in show canon that ain't exactly book canon, and you got to think about it, right? Dance of Dragons, Dragon Seeds. There's a lot of that. A lot of the pre A Song of Ice and Fire history that's not really talked about. They touched on the Dance of the Dragons briefly. They never went into full detail about what happened there. So as far as anyone is concerned,
but it breaks the lore of their DVDs for the show, though.
In the show, did it mention the Dragon Seeds?
Not in the show, in the DVDs, extras.
It mentioned the Dragon Seeds.
Yes.
I mean, well, look, you got to think about it like this, right? They make the show for the general audience. They make the DVD stuff for
Well, the DVD stuff's not canon, is what you're saying.
no,
Show canon.
It's not that the DVD stuff is not canon, but it's kind of like how you have like a Marvel.
We just
or
had
DC
Dan and Dave
movie.
trying to explain show canon,
Well,
and
hold on.
it contradicts his DVD, what we see in DVDs.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Well,
it's not the first time they've done it. I mean,
Well, look, let's put it like this, right? It's like how you have a Marvel or DC movie, and then you'll have the supposed tie-in comic that doesn't affect anything, but it's like, hey, if you want some extra background knowledge on stuff from behind the scenes of the movie, or
So the DVDs are basically Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Got it.
yeah, pretty much. Oh man.
I was going to also say, let's not forget they have broken their own canon before, as in, Tyrion seeing all the different banners of Dorne, and then, having those bastards just take Dorne over, and not even mention the other houses. So they've done it before.
Yeah. So.
And they only think there's 10 Valyrian steel swords, Jerry, remember, in all of Westeros.
Yeah.
All the world.
I guarantee you they never read Princess and the Queen. I guarantee you.
I guarantee you they've never read past Storm of Swords.
Very possible. They
didn't even know Sam was a POV character.
I mean, remember, they said all they wanted to do was get to the Red Wedding. That was their goal. So,
they made it.
All right. So look, we got one question, and we'll do this one before we go because we said we weren't going to do 2 hours. Here we are at almost 2 hours. All right. So this question is from Plexi Bertrand. And then after this, it is a wrap for us. All right. Damn it. 2 questions. These 2 questions and no more. All right. So, do you think the show will go Dance of Dragons with Jon and Dany? Yes or no question. James, yes or no?
Nope, not enough time.
LT?
No, not enough time.
Jerry?
Obviously, they wouldn't be lollygagging like a bunch of jackoffs here if they were going to plan on doing something like that. No, of course not.
Okay. What's the next question? Tuki, Mello, and Daddy TV. Do you guys think Arya will tell the Night King not today? Jerry was
Why not? Why not? They made Arya do everything else. Why not?
LT?
I can see it.
James?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think for show badassery, to give the I guess the quintessential Marvel moment for peak Marvel, they will give Arya that look where she will say to the Night King, or if not the Night King, at least some White Walker, not today. All right, so listen, we'd like to thank everyone for coming out today to check us out. This is fun. We haven't got to do this in a while. We will be back possibly later this week. Saturday, Friday, sometime. Check your local YouTube listings. All right, make sure you are subscribed. Share this with your friends. All that other good stuff. I'm gonna have to re-edit the description, put everybody's links in and all that good stuff. All right, but and if we don't get back this week, we will definitely be back next Monday to do another review. Check out everybody's channel, especially LT. LT, I know you put up a review. I'm gonna be putting up my solo on Wednesday, and also Will It Happen in the Books. And all that good stuff.
Before we leave, he's the jolly good fellow, for he's the jolly good fellow, and nobody can deny. Happy birthday, JB.
Yeah, happy birthday to
happy birthday.
JB.
Thanks, and don't expect jack shit from my channel. So,
hey man, it's hard adulting out here. All right, listen, You know, yeah, you guys already know the deal. Rate, comment, subscribe, share. Tell your friends and come back for more. My name is Don Willie. We are the Hypes Watch, the one true hype, and we are saying Valado Harris. We'll see you either sometime later this week or next Monday. Next Monday definitely, but hopefully sometime later this week. But until then, deuces.